there seems to be a pretty roaring conversation going on around um, people who are calling what happened with Carmelo Anthony self-defense. There seems to be this narrative bubbling up, even with people on the right,
Wow.
that this Carmelo kid was defending himself. Even Tim Pool tweeted this out saying, "I don't care about conservative tribal outrage." He's essentially saying like,
It's not on the screen, by the way. I don't know if you
"Oh,
want it
sorry,
to be.
yes,
Okay.
thank you."
Mhm.
Essentially what's happening here is he's saying, well, we don't know all the details, which is true. Okay, we
Right.
don't know the details. But then he shares this. Carmelo Anthony was from Centennial High School, sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin, the victim, had told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and proceeded to tell Austin. So he grabbed his knife first and said, "Touch me and see what happens." No one actually thought Anthony had any kind of weapon in his bag. So Austin poked him, touched him, proceeded to touch him. Anthony then told Austin to punch him and see what happens. It was like he was trying to escalate.
So he was taunting him,
He was
really?
taunting him. He was trying to escalate the situation to a point in where he could use deadly force.
Yep.
A short time later, and then, but here, Austin then grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and then Anthony pulled out the knife and stabbed him in the heart, and then ran away.
Wow.
To me, this sounds like he was purposely escalating. It's like he had a fetish.
Yeah,
And he was like perfectly escalating. He was escalating this on purpose.
He did taunt him in this situation. I think that the better course of action that he should have taken, like if he didn't want to give up his seat or whatever, I don't know if technically he was in the wrong spot or not, but it sounds like he was. But if he didn't want to move, he could just be like, "I'm not moving. Like, I'm just not going to move.
He didn't have to escalate
leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move." Like, if he said that, whatever. But to say, "Oh, touch me and see what happens. Oh, punch me and see what happens," it's like he was looking to be violent with this kid.
And he wanted a reason to do it.
He did.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I don't think that he should have grabbed him. I don't think that that should have happened, but he definitely didn't deserve to be murdered for that. Like if his retaliation, he's like, "Dude, let me go," and he like pushed him off or like gave him a little slap or whatever. Like, okay, I get that he touched you and you don't want and but to taunt him and then to kill him over something like that, that's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, the idea that like, I think Tim also like went on a video to be like, "Well, we don't have all the details." I'm like, what other details do you need?
Yeah.
You might be able to make the argument that like, I don't know, if they had chased him or cornered him in an alley or something like that, but none of that happened. The Carmelo Anthony sat under that tent, picked a fight, and escalated it. What was my opinion, a premeditated murder.
Yep, I think so.
Like I believe that he was purposely escalating it, to give himself an excuse. That's why he was like, the second he was like, "Oh, I was protecting myself. He said that immediately when the cops, I don't know. It sucks.
Oh, and what I hate is like, because that's the thing is that I was up in Frisco, and I used to live right near Frisco, so I'm still in some like groups on Facebook from the area, and I saw people posting about it in those groups, and a lot of people who are like, "Oh, Carmelo's innocent," and trying to act like he's innocent and posting about that in the situation, and it's just insane to me because it's like That is just so, and they're also in the comments, because I know a lot of people are like debating about it, and in the comments are like, well, what about Kyle Rittenhouse, and trying to compare this to a Kyle Rittenhouse situation, which is insanity. The Kyle Rittenhouse situation, like, he actually was legit self-defense, and also
they were chasing him, and they also were armed.
They were
and
armed,
then the one guy was
chasing him, and then and then the whole like. And then they're all crying that he killed a pedophile. And it's like, seriously, that is not the same as some kids at a track meet and this whole situation. Like, first of all, I don't even know why the kid had a knife in his backpack anyway.
Well, what Tim was saying last night, which is totally crazy. He's like, there's nothing wrong with carrying a knife.
I think it's a different story with some children. I don't know if I would recommend. I mean,
there is something wrong with carrying a knife in your backpack at school, though.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that you can't have that. And like, it was really weird to see, like, I don't know if I think I actually have Tim's take. And I was like, what? Like, I initially defended it. I get what he's trying to say. Like, maybe, chat can tell me. But like, so this Keith Woods guy, who's a Jews bad guy on Twitter. That's the only thing I know him as.
Right.
Puts out this video of Tim because he hates Tim. And it was really like, Tim Pool argued that 17-year-old Austin Metcalf being stabbed was likely justifiable self-defense. I want to see, one's in the chat if you think that's what he's saying. And two, if you think that's not what he's saying.
There was an argument between Carmelo Anthony, who was from a rival school, who was there, and there were a bunch of kids from this town or whatever, and they got into an altercation. They told him he wasn't supposed to be there. Apparently, they had words. Carmelo Anthony pulled a knife out from his bag and said, "Touch me and see what happens." Witnesses said either he was touched or grabbed. They were different witness accounts, but
that's true.
That Austin Metcalf did put hands on Carmelo, who then stabbed him once in the chest before running away. According to police, Carmelo Anthony, when he got apprehended or turned himself in, however the story goes, I mean, different accounts, he asked if Austin was going to be okay and said it was self-defense. He said he grabbed me and I said self-defense. The family is arguing it was self-defense. It's strange to me that with this story, the right is adamant that this kid just killed another kid and he should go to prison forever. And I'm like, we don't even know what happened.
That part is like, we kind of do know what happened.
We do.
We have half a dozen witness statements that said this is, and they all say exactly the same thing. Get out of here. You can't make me. Touch me, which is, of course, what high school boys do. So then I'm sure he poked him. I was like, see, what are you going to do about it? And then he said, punch me. He's purposely escalating it so that he can retrieve the knife. So I think we absolutely clearly know what happened.
It's just like self-defense is if your life is in danger and you defend yourself in with that kind of extreme. His life was not, there was no pose of threat to his life in this situation whatsoever.
They weren't holding him there either.
Right, exactly.
So Tim laid it out as if it was self-defense. Well, let's see. There's a minute left.
You've got witness testimony that sounds like a fight happened at a school. Then I've heard the argument, he shouldn't have had a knife. He brought a knife to a school, and it's like, okay, what kind of knife was it? Was it a utility knife? Was it a switchblade?
Is a utility knife even long enough to stab somebody in the heart? I don't
think so. And that's another thing. The fact that he stabbed him in the heart, that just seems extremely intentional. It's like, how do you accidentally stab someone in the heart if you were just going for, it's just an excessive amount of violence to be your first course of action in something like this.
Yeah.
Was it a machete? Like, did he have a steak knife?
Well, we know it wasn't a machete, Tim, because you're not going to stab somebody in the heart with a machete. Come on, dude.
Was he coming back from culinary class where he had fine Japanese blades for cutting cucumbers? I have no idea.
Again, we know that's not the case too. So, like, I don't,
Yeah. You're allowed to carry knives I'm pretty sure in Texas, especially if it's like a utility blade. You're also not allowed to grab people. Nobody knows the exact specifics of this story. But
it's also kids. Like, how many times? Like,
I'm
kids
pretty sure
are
the school
always
does not allow you to
wrestling around.
carry.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, when it comes to to kids in school. Like, how many times are they like wrestling around with each other? And that's just not a threat at their life in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at school. Yes, it was. It was at a track meet. Where are the tracks usually? They're on school grounds.
Yeah.
Carmelo and Metcalf. Some witnesses said that Austin touched Carmelo. Some say he grabbed him. Whatever. The courts will play it out. If weapons are banned, he's going to go to jail. However, in a general...
So, fair enough. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that... So far, with 20 seconds left, in my opinion, he has not said that it was justifiable self-defense.
Right.
General self-defense context. This is...
Wait, hold on. I spoke too soon. Hold on.
Weapons are banned, he's going to go to jail. However, in a general self-defense context, this is why I'm saying the story I find so confusing. We have always maintained, when it comes to self-defense, it is not the responsibility of the victim of an attack to determine the extent of that lethal force.
Yeah.
If they are being attacked, their perception of how far that force goes is it.
Yeah, I don't think he's really saying. I think what he's saying is like, I think the correct answer is 1.5. I think what he's saying is, look, when it goes to court, if he's able to establish that this is self-defense, these other things are true. Man,
that's...
I mean, to me, I think these details show that he had escalated it on purpose to such a point where he felt justified that he could kill a man.
And
it was like he was getting off on it.
This is at school when you're dealing with children and stuff is a completely different situation than, okay, here are, adults out in society and then a man comes up on you and grabs you. Like, that's not the same as a tussle at school with children because children are, first of all, they just like, they're still developing and they also don't typically have the capacity through a tussle to kill somebody like without a weapon. And it's like, if this is justifiable to kill somebody, then at the school, like at recess at schools every day, at every school, there's somebody that could be killed and it would be considered self-defense because aren't kids always putting their hands on each other and wrestling and tussling and getting in arguments and fights? It's like they're children. They and I know that they're teenagers in this kind of situation, but still, this isn't
looks
the
like
same
he doubled
thing.
down on this. Like, it looks like Tim, based on these comments, this was not self-defense. Tim, touch me, see what happens. He was prepared to kill before there's any physical alteration. I agree with that. He taunted him. He wanted to escalate it. This video has 3,200 dislikes compared to 3,000 likes too. So I don't know. He brought a knife to an athletic event, knowingly went to the wrong tent, taunted another high schooler to do something about it. Anthony was looking for a reason to stab somebody. That's what I agree with.
Yep, I agree too.
I agree with that. I don't, but will he be able to argue it's self-defense in court? Well, he's probably going to try.
Let's hope that
he certainly will.
If he gets away with this, I mean, this could really be...
I wonder if whites will riot.
I don't know. But that's the thing is like, this could just set a bad precedent for, for other children, school-age children, because it's like, are they going to start bringing knives to school? And at any point, let's face it, even when it comes to bullying, that's very prevalent. And bullying does need to be addressed, but you can't just kill all these kids that are bullied. Yeah. You can't kill children like that are being bullies. Instead, you take different courses of disciplinary action, but you shouldn't be killing children. You shouldn't have children killing each other. Like, this is insane.